What's going on, everyone? Darkside Phil here with a special vlog. Not planning, obviously, to film this one. It wasn't anything that was on my schedule or that I thought was going to be something that I was going to be discussing publicly again so soon. But I do feel that a few things have happened that in the past few days / week, that there's been some developments in regards to my business, in regards to my live streaming. There's been some things that I've said that maybe either I didn't mean to say them that way and I didn't express myself properly the way that I said them, for example, on a pre-stream or on a post-stream this week. And, sadly what ends up happening is when I say something maybe the wrong way or not how I intended to mean it or not really what I was trying to say. I'm a real human here and I make mistakes and I can't always express myself in the way that I want to perfectly 100% of the time. Duh. I mean, you could probably go back over the 8 years I've been on YouTube and find about 4 million examples where I said one thing and then afterwards I was like, oh shit, well I actually meant to say this, or no, really it's more like this. But when I was saying something on the fly, I didn't necessarily say it in a way that was the best way to say something, especially if it's in a way that doesn't hurt people or insult people, right? But what happens is you've got people who literally sit here, and I'm not kidding you, right now they're doing it right now, as this video is going live on YouTube. They're sitting here and they're analyzing every little thing that I possibly say to find something, somewhere where I slipped, somewhere where I might have said something in a bad way, or maybe a way that doesn't necessarily 100% make sense, or may be something that's inflammatory to some people or insulting to some people. And that's what they focus on, right? Not the 99% of the other part of the discussion that's been going on, but that 1% where I said something that may have been a bad way to say something, okay? Case in point, the reason I'm bringing this up is because this past whole month, there's been a ton of discussion around myself, around my YouTube channels, how to improve, how to make them more viable for the modern audience on YouTube. Because the bottom line is, for 8 years, I have primarily done raw video game playthroughs and raw video gaming Let's Play live streams on a daily basis. And it doesn't seem like that's cutting the mustard per se, all right? What I've noticed is a huge drop-off in views. I can't explain it. It kind of came out of nowhere because the first half of this year was great. The first half of 2016 was amazing. Views were up. I have my new channel, KO Gaming, that was doing really well and everything was going great. And then all of a sudden this summer, literally out of nowhere, it didn't seem like there was any cause or effect relationship. It dipped massively and hasn't come back to anywhere near the levels where it used to be. So when I'm seeing something like that, I obviously have to appeal to my viewing audience and say, what's going on? Can you give me feedback? Can you give me suggestions for improvement? What exactly is happening? And you know what? The bottom line is the majority of YouTubers wouldn't do that. The majority of YouTubers out there hide the business aspect of stuff. And you know what? I'm not saying that's wrong or that's right. I don't know. I can tell you that's not my style. As you guys and gals know, especially those who follow me in the long term, I'm the kind of person that is completely transparent. I let you know about all the stuff kind of going on behind the scenes. I share that with you because I really do feel that you, the viewer, are the person who's here on a daily basis, not only to watch my content and enjoy it, but also that's almost like an experience. This whole YouTube thing has been an organic experience between myself and my viewership that I really feel that being transparent has allowed you to feel like behind the scenes and be a part of it. You know what I mean? I don't feel like I'm better than anyone else. I don't feel like what I'm doing puts me on as an e-celebrity pedestal. And, a lot of people may say, but Phil, you say all the time that your videos are better than everyone else who does Let's Plays. You know what? Again, that's just me not expressing myself well. All right? I don't necessarily think that the way that I do videos is better or necessarily the only way to do it. I personally feel that doing a raw Let's Play is the best way to do it. That's my personal belief, because you don't get the one-sided fluff of editing out all the parts of the game that are boring, or editing out the fails of a game, right? Or only making the game look good because you're basically doing a paid PR advertisement, which, quite honestly, a lot of big gaming YouTubers, that's what they do because they're paid to do it. All right? That's not what I do. That's never what I've done. That's not what I want to do, and that's not what I intend to ever do here on YouTube. But it seems like that's where YouTube is going when it comes to gaming videos. People want to see highly edited, highly polished gameplay videos where all the fails and all the boring stuff of the game is cut out. It's only non-stop entertainment. A joke here, fun commentary there, a funny part here, a funny fail there, and literally when you watch a let's play of a game, it's really not a let's play at all. It's more of a best of montage with all kinds of stuff in there that could be scripted. Now, I know there's some people who don't do scripted stuff, and they still find a way to do it right, okay? But I do feel that what I do on YouTube is, at least from my perspective, right, a different way to do it and a way that has intrinsic value. I do feel that my video style has intrinsic value. It sets me apart from the pack because unlike all those other guys using all the methodology to get the big views and everything on YouTube, I don't do that. I don't kowtow down to that denominator of looking for that kind of popularity. I don't care if I don't get the massive mainstream view on YouTube. The bottom line is all I want is to be able to pay my bills and continue to do this as a business full time. And the thing is, maybe that's not viable anymore. Maybe I do need to change and I need to do a lot of things that I don't want to do in order to make this a viable business. And that sucks, right? That really does suck. But that's pretty much the reality that's kind of facing me right now, all right? So anyway, here's what's going on. This past month, facing this reality, all right, I've talked to a ridiculous amount of people. I've talked to my biggest fans, and quite honestly, I've talked to some of my strongest critics on YouTube. I've talked to other YouTubers. I've talked to people on my forums, people in the comments of my videos, people on social media like Twitter, all right? And the bottom line is something's got to give, right? And there's been a lot of conversation about things that I can do. Now, there's long-term fixes and short-term fixes. Long-term, people have said, well, you got to edit down your videos and you got to do this and that. I can't do that right now. I'm so busy right now in this gaming season. There's no possible way I could completely change my style of video on the fly. It's not going to happen. If something like that is going to happen, it's going to happen long-term. Say, over the course of next year, I try to implement a phase kind of plan where, okay, I'm still doing the raw gameplay, but now I'm going to massively implement time so that I could do this edited style montage of the game for, say, KO Gaming and stuff like that. But we're not there yet, and it's nothing that I could do as an overnight fix. What I've been looking for are overnight fixes, and some people will call them band-aids, yeah. But let's face it, I got to do something in the short term to try to make stuff better, right? I can't just keep doing the same thing over and over. You know what they say? Insanity is doing the same exact thing over and over and expecting a different result. I can't just do the same exact thing every day and expect that things are magically going to get better overnight out of nowhere. Now, let's be honest here. Since I've revealed what's been going on with my business, there's been a ton of positivity coming out and people pledging to my Patreon and people coming out and saying, we support you, Phil. And that is great. And that is obviously a way to help short-term help things. And honestly, long-term too, because the bottom line is if those people who pledge to my Patreon keep pledging, it's going to help me in the long term, all right? But that's also not going to be the end-all, be-all savior of everything, and I realize that. And you know what it is that I read all this feedback over the past month, and I don't directly make a video like this explaining, and then I think people think that all of that feedback is falling on deaf ears when in reality it's not. It's just that I can't actively respond to every piece of feedback that I get. And I'll be honest, a lot of people cannot help giving feedback without insulting, too. It's like, well, here's a bunch of positive feedback. Oh, by the way, Phil's a lazy fuck. Well, that's not going to help. You know what I mean? Like, you could give as much positivity and constructive feedback as you want, and as soon as you could put in that insult, you've completely destroyed any kind of a case that you had for trying to help out, and people need to understand that too, all right? But anyway, I'm getting off topic now. The bottom line is, quick fixes for my business seem to be either, number one, leaving YouTube streaming altogether and going back to Twitch, because now people are saying pretty much no one streams on YouTube anymore. It's that simple. Almost no one streams on YouTube at all. YouTube gaming last year, let's face it, was a hideous failure. YouTube claimed they were going to make gaming popular, streaming popular on their website. They haven't. They literally launched YouTube gaming, and they did absolutely nothing whatsoever to promote it, nor to actually make it viable or convince anyone to come watch streams on YouTube. They've done nothing. You can't just launch something and then just leave it alone and expect that it's just going to massively grow virally. I think Google may think that that's the case or something because that's what happened with the Google search engine and that's what happened with YouTube in a way. But that's not how life works, right? In business, you actually have to have some kind of a competitive edge, and YouTube gaming streaming has no competitive edge. So, when you're faced with, gee, Do I continue to live stream daily on YouTube, or do I go to Twitch, where that's where all the popular stuff is? When a new game comes out, people are searching for that game, and you can come up in search results easily, and you're going to get organic viewers that are going to come into your live streams just because you're on the most popular streaming platform there is. Obviously, that looks more appealing than streaming on YouTube. Now, I've already given a bunch of reasons why, at least right now, I can't immediately jump ship back to Twitch and say, here we go. In fact, I'll be honest, not only is it a technical aspect, meaning the ability to stream at a quality that I feel is acceptable, but also record at a quality that I feel is acceptable, which is the reason why I left Twitch to begin with 2 years ago. I've actually heard many things about you could fix that now. Like, there's a new version of my streaming program, OBS, that will stream at one quality to Twitch, but record at the higher quality for YouTube. So basically, it fixes the whole issue that I had 2 years ago, okay? There's also philosophical differences that I have, business reasonings that I have for not going back to Twitch, and I might have to eventually just bite the fucking bullet and say, you know what, even though I really disagree with a lot of the stuff that they do over there and the philosophy that they have over there, because the bottom line is, I don't feel that Twitch is about quality gaming streams at all. They don't care about the quality of the stream that's put out. They just care about how much money the stream makes. That's why, if you look, in the 2 years since Amazon bought Twitch, have they improved the actual video quality of the website? Have they massively increased server capacity? Have they done anything really to say, look, here we are the premier streaming service, and here's a ton of quality stuff for you? No, they said, here's t-shirts, here's new emotes you have to pay for, subs, basically every possible thing to fundraise rather than improve the quality of their site. And I'm completely the opposite of that. I'm of the belief that you can improve the quality of a site while you also make it profitable. It's not all just about the money, which it seems to be that entire site is about. There's so many examples I can give of people that violated the site rules, did nasty stuff on that service, and were massively forgiven just because they bring in money to the site, and I don't agree with that at all. And I also know, let's be honest, if I go back to Twitch, I will be the redheaded stepchild. I will be the guy that 2 years ago left the site because I was so furious with their practices, right, that coming back, there's no way I'm ever going to get any kind of, what's the word I'm looking for? I can't even think of the word I'm looking for, but any kind of consideration from those people, right, that, you know, they're probably going to be on my ass. They're going to be like, you're not streaming at the right quality immediately, and do this and this and that. I'll be having people monitoring me. I know it. I just know it because that's how they kind of operate their business, is they have preferential treatment, to those who are the big guys, the big dogs, and everyone else is kind of just shuffled under the rug. So there's a lot of reasons why I don't want to go back to Twitch, all right? I might eventually do it, especially if it is true that I can stream to their standards, okay, but I can still record the quality that I want for YouTube. Maybe I'll go back. We'll see. But there's been a lot of other discussion about me reducing the amount that I live stream, and this is really the meat of the video, what I want to get to. Reducing the amount that I live stream, because the bottom line is every day right now I've been live streaming at least 3 to 4 hours, okay, and what it does is a few things. Number one, it oversaturates. When I'm live streaming every single day, it's not special. It's something that becomes commonplace, right? And because it's commonplace, people tend to say, well, it's going to be there every day. I don't have to actually show up for it because it's commonplace. Phil will be streaming every day and it's not a big deal, right? And that's the problem, is when it becomes not a big deal, then people don't show up anymore. And here I am every day setting up a stream, maintaining a stream, making sure the quality is good, asking people how the volume levels are, doing all this, doing all that. When there's a blip in the stream, I gotta try to figure out what caused that blip and try to adjust it, right? And I have to be here on a set schedule to stream every single day rather than having the flexibility of recording whenever I have a free time and all that kind of noise. And for what? When, quite honestly, if you actually look at live streaming, at least my live streaming, besides when I do a brand new release and I cover it for 1 to 2 days, or if I'm doing a special event like a marathon or maybe a multiplayer session of a new popular game, then people come out to watch. But in general, when I'm doing, let's say, a longer drawn out playthrough, and I'll give a perfect example, a game like Dishonored 2, where the game was 15 and a half hours long, after the first 2 sessions that I did, almost no one showed up to the streams anymore, because let's face it, 2 reasons. Number one, because a lot of people aren't caught up on the playthrough. Not everyone can watch 8+ hours of gameplay within 2 days and be able to be caught up and be there for the live stream of that game. And number two, because a lot of people are either playing the game themselves, right? And so they don't want to be spoiled on what's going on in the game by watching me play it so rapidly throughout that launch weekend, right? Or various other reasons. There's other life reasons why you can't be there for a live stream every day. Maybe it's appealing to you to be there for the premiere stream, but it's not appealing to you to be there for every moment of every piece of gameplay of that game over the course of the weekend. And what I'm noticing is basically the same exact things for games like Watch Dogs 2 and Pokemon Moon, which I'm now playing. The premieres were great, and after that, the viewership drops off dramatically because people are just, they can't catch up, or for whatever reason, they're not going to watch this incredibly long ongoing playthrough as a live stream. Now, that's different. A few years ago, I think maybe people had that mentality, and now things are more on YouTube becoming more like, well, it's a commonality that people are doing these playthroughs, and so I don't need to be there every single day, right, for the live stream or whatever. So I understand that, but I had this discussion this week. There's a vlog on this channel from earlier this week where I said, I'm just going to cut back then on the live streams because the bottom line is I don't need a live stream every day. And if I cut back on live streams, the people who watch those live streams are, you know, hopefully would watch those videos on demand on YouTube. That's going to give me more views there, which is going to obviously help with my business because right now, the viewership I'm getting on streams doesn't count as much as a view on a video. And I know that sounds weird, but it's true. Think about it. If you tune into a live stream for 3.5 hours, that's one view. If you watch 9 to 10 videos, that's 10 views. And I know that sounds stupid because I agree. Why is it that if someone watches something for 3.5 hours and watches advertisements during it, it doesn't count as much as watching 10 separate videos? I don't know. That's YouTube's mentality. That's not mine. I think that YouTube still, I hate to say it, in a lot of ways is still in its infancy. And it hasn't perfected these kind of metrics or analytics or whatever you want to call them. It should count the same, but it doesn't, right? And a lot of people have been saying you're live streaming every day and you're losing out on thousands of views a day because you're live streaming stuff that you don't really need to live stream. You're doing an ongoing, elongated playthrough of a game that has a lot of content. Why are you live streaming it every day? Why are you setting it up there and having to basically lose out on gaming time because I have all the setup and the pre-stream and everything that I do every single day, right? And I have to adhere to this schedule where I have to staunchly be here at certain dates and times and stuff. And people are basically just saying, stop all of that. You're doing it too much and you've oversaturated everything. And what you need to do is go back to the way you used to do it, where you just play games on your own, have fun with them, upload the videos, and yeah, for special occasions then, like the launch of a game or whatever, you should live stream. And I understand that and I agree with that. Now, I also know that there's going to be a group of people, the people who are kind of my core audience, who are there every single day, no matter what I live stream, who are going to be disappointed in that because they feel now betrayed. What the hell? I've been here for every live stream Phil's ever done, and now he's going to just cut back on live streams. How is that fair to us? And listen, I understand that. It's kind of like a double-edged sword. No matter what I do to change my business, hurts someone, right? Someone gets hurt. It's someone who's going to be kind of not screwed, but disappointed with whatever changes, and I get that, and that sucks. I know that for a fact. The difference here is that I'm trying to be 100% transparent with you, and I think this is where all the drama happens with me and YouTube, is that I am transparent. I come out and I try to tell you everything going on behind the scenes, and I try to explain to you what's going on and why I'm making critical business decisions. Any other YouTuber probably would just say, well, I'm cutting back on live streaming, sorry everyone, and that's it. And there's no further discussion, and there's no explanation, and they don't make multiple vlogs about it, and there's nothing about it, right? And you either accept it or you don't. But for me, I really care about the viewers, and I want you to understand why I'm doing something, right? If the live streams every day were super popular, and there were a ton of people coming out for them, and they were profitable for me, then I would do it every day. But the bottom line is, it's not. You know what I mean? I'm not getting any kind of a significant viewership on these ongoing live streams that's making it viable for me to keep doing it, especially if people are really feeling that it's hurting my overall viewership on my playthroughs because I'm streaming every day. It's just reality, okay? Now, what's happened is these past couple of days, I've been streaming, in particular, Pokemon Moon, okay? And I personally feel, and the people who've been here for the live streams at least, have relayed to me that Pokemon Moon has been one of my best playthroughs in a long time. I'm completely engaged in the game. I'm doing little jokes and things, better commentary than I've done in a long time, and that has been a major criticism of my game playthroughs as of late, is that it seems like when I'm playing these longer form games, such as Dishonored 2, I'll bring another one, another good example, that game was great and I loved it, but there wasn't a ton of stuff to do crazy commentary on, you know what I mean? Unless I wanted to talk about completely off-topic stuff, which I don't like to do when I play games, there wasn't a lot of stuff to talk about during that game. It wasn't like, wow, here's a crazy observational thing that I could talk about. It's not like it's Heavy Rain or Until Dawn where there's hilarious stuff or silly stuff happening and you can make funny commentary and stuff about it. It wasn't like that at all. It was a lot of kind of the same kind of gameplay. It was fun gameplay, but it wasn't something that lent itself well to entertaining or engaging commentary. I feel that Pokemon Moon, at least up to this point, has been the opposite. seeing new Pokemon, naming the new Pokemon, doing voice acting for all the main casts so far. There's been a lot of opportunity for great stuff in that playthrough, all right? But that being said, the viewership hasn't been great. The first day, as expected, the premiere was great. And since then, it's dipped. And yesterday, all right, on stream, at the beginning of the stream and end of the stream, I had this discussion with my viewer base because I wanted them to be prepared for the fact that I probably wasn't going to be live streaming much at all this week coming up. This particular week coming up is a holiday week. I'm going to be trimming my Christmas tree, Thanksgiving, Black Friday, where Leanna is working and I have to drive her to and from work. So there's a lot of times where I can't have a consistent schedule this week anyway, so I can't live stream a lot. And I basically made a promise to my viewer base on stream the past couple of days that if viewership was pretty decent for Pokemon Moon, that I would bust my ass basically to still try to live stream as long as I could this week until basically it wasn't viable anymore, which is probably about middle of this week. I can't live stream anyway, all right? And the bottom line is the day one, the viewership was great. Day two yesterday, the viewership wasn't great. We started out with a certain amount and it just went all the way down, trailing down during the course of the stream. Now for me, I can't figure it out. All right, I can't. Logically, I can't figure it out why that would happen because I'm enjoying the game. The people who are in stream chat are telling me that they're loving this stream. It's one of the best streams I've done. The viewer, for a viewer who's engaged and liking that I'm engaged in the game, they're telling me that the content is great. So why is the viewership going boo during the course of the stream? I don't know, and I have to call bullshit because most people have come out and said, well, Phil, it's because your commentary isn't good. It's because your commentary has been boring as of late. It's been blasé. It seems like you're not engaged. You're not enjoying the games you're playing. You're just doing this for a job. And that's why people aren't excited in your stuff. I have to call bullshit. Pokemon has been anything but that. All right? And it would be one thing if I was just going through the motions. I'm not with this game. I'm really actively working to make this an entertaining playthrough, and I'm entertained by the game, so I know that that's coming through in the videos. So when I see viewership going, boo, that tells me that that downward trend has nothing to do with actually what's coming through in the videos at all right? And you have to look at it and say, well, what is it, right? What is the root cause of why a stream would have plummeting viewership when the stream is engaging and entertaining and fun? I don't get it, right? And, I guess I should ask that kind of question publicly more often. Of course, I'm going to get a ton of bullshit answers from people who are only here to be dicks to me. You know what I mean? So I don't know. I mean, the bottom line is if you watch the Pokemon playthrough, right, and you see that I'm getting people who I don't even hear from are tweeting me now and saying, Phil, I just started watching Pokemon playthrough. It's great. So if that's the feedback I'm massively getting, then obviously something else is going on. What is it? I don't know. And I don't know how to fix it. And that leads to frustration. So what ended up happening yesterday, okay, is at the end of my stream, I looked at viewership and I said, well, sorry everyone, but it looks like viewership plummeted today. And I don't know why, but as we've already had this conversation, all right, I'm not going to continue to live stream this game because it looks like people aren't coming out for it anymore. Now, admittedly, then with my frustration in my head, I said something completely wrong, something I shouldn't have said, something that, of course, every motherfucker on the internet who steals my videos, who illegally records my streams, and who takes every fucking comment I ever say out of context to find that one moment when I say something wrong. Here's what I said. I'll publicly admit it because it's out there, duh. And I didn't mean it. As I said, well, it must just be that people are lazy. People want to see my streams, and people are asking me for streams, and they're begging me, and they're upset that I'm not going to live stream. But then when I do a great quality live stream, they don't show up, so they're just lazy. Obviously, that's not actually what I feel. There's got to be something going on, right, to make people not feel engaged and not stick around for the length of a stream. I don't know what it is, because they used to. And again, I'll say this again. I'm not doing anything differently than what I used to. When I'm engaged in a game and I'm doing great commentary and I'm actively engaged in it, and Pokemon in particular, reacting to the new Pokemon, the new abilities, naming the Pokemon, doing voice acting, I don't know how more engaged I could fucking be in a game, honestly. And I'm loving the game. That's the other thing I've been telling everyone. I'm loving this game. I like Pokemon Moon a lot. It's fun because it's a new Pokemon game where I'm getting exposed to it for the first time along with everyone else, and I'm seeing the new Pokemon and the new evolutions and everything. I'm really liking this game and this playthrough. Like, I'm digging it. I want to keep doing it. I'm excited today to jump on stream and continue with Pokemon Moon. And I'll be real honest with you, I can't say that for every game that I play. There's some games that after 1 or 2 sessions, okay, I get what the game is. Oh, great, there's another 10 hours of gameplay. Well, I gotta go through it now. This is not the case with Pokemon Moon. I'm very excited to jump back into it on a daily basis, alright? But, because I said this one thing that obviously I apologize for, and it's wrong. I mean, anyone said, Phil just called his viewers lazy. They're not coming out to the streams because they're lazy. No, I don't think that's what it is. There's something going on. I don't know what it is, but there's something obviously going on that's not engaging viewers on my live streams. I don't know what it is. Because I said that, that's it. So the whole internet now has to tear me a new asshole because Phil said something at the end of his stream on fucking Saturday. So that's it. So now you got these kids who literally, and I'm not kidding, this is not an exaggeration, there's kids who literally every day record my entire fucking stream illegally, which is completely illegal. You can't record anyone's live streams or videos on YouTube. They do it, and they take that one moment. They don't have any of the discussion about how my business is down, how I really need help, and I'm trying to get suggestions for improvement, and one of the major suggestions for improvement has been to cut down on live streaming, and we had this whole experiment this week with Pokemon, that if attendance stayed up, that I would keep streaming, and that it didn't stay up, and all of a sudden it was down, and I was very disappointed that none of that in context. The one thing that's put up, Phil saying, man, these people are really lazy because they're not coming out to watch my streams. Of course that makes me look like a fucking piece of shit. Of course it does. And people will say, well, how's it out of context if you said it? Because you didn't give the whole fucking perspective of everything that's been going on for the past fucking month. Of course it's out of context. Of course it makes me look bad. Duh. But the problem is people don't fucking do the research. They don't take the 5 seconds to figure out what the situation was. Instead, they just watch the one thing and say, well, Phil's a piece of shit. Wow. Phil is a major piece of shit. To say something like that makes Phil a piece of shit. And you know what? If I knew nothing about myself, and I knew nothing about my 8 years on YouTube, and I knew nothing about the frustration and what I'm going through right now with my business, and I knew nothing about any perspective whatsoever, and all I saw was a video that says, DSP Gaming says his viewers are lazy, and I clicked on it, and the one thing you hear is, wow, my viewers are lazy because they didn't come to my live stream, I would hate me too. But that's not reality, and that's not life, right? That's not the truthfulness of the situation. And quite honestly, that's why people hate me on YouTube. That is definitively #1 the reason that people hate me on YouTube. It's not that I said that. It's that some fucking idiot spins it to say that's the only thing Phil ever said. Here's the negative thing Phil said. It would be like if President Obama of the United States at one time was really frustrated about one thing and he made an underhanded or a comment that really wasn't characteristic of 95% of the stuff that maybe Obama would ever say, and he said this one thing, but that's the only thing that was on the fucking internet today was Obama said this one thing. Everyone would think that he's an asshole, right? But the bottom line is that he has all this other positive spin coverage too. And that's the thing is, I don't get the positive spin. All I get is the negative. For years, let's watch an entire 15-hour playthrough of what Phil did and take the 1.5 hours out of it where he really sucked and or was really frustrated and or said stuff that could be, insinuated as being insulting, take it completely out of context of the whole playthrough and say this was his playthrough of this game, when in reality, that's not what it was. It was a 15-hour-long playthrough where for a good 10+ hours, the content was good, there was fun stuff, I was succeeding at the game, I wasn't blaming the game developers, I wasn't going crazy, swearing and insulting people, but that's the thing. Take the one negative out of context, make the video about it, well, hands off, and I got my views for today, making Phil look like a piece of shit. And that's what it is. That's the reality of my daily existence here on fucking YouTube, alright? Now, here's the thing. I want to say something. I want to say thank you to those who, from an outside perspective, see this, alright? And they kind of, wake me up to reality. Because the bottom line is, yesterday the stream went offline, and I didn't think anything of it. And I uploaded my videos like usual, and I played Watch Dogs and all this, and I really didn't hear anything. All day, I didn't hear anything. And all of a sudden, overnight, apparently, I got a bunch of tweets. In regards, it's Rich from Review Tech USA, who watched the video from the kid who steals my stuff on a daily basis, that piece of shit, watches this fucking out-of-context video, and he tweets me, and he says, Phil, this video is the reason why people are turned off to your streams and turned off to you as a person on YouTube and your content. This is why people hate you on YouTube, because of comments like this. And I look at it and immediately I'm like, but this is a completely out of context comment, right? It's the one moment of weakness where I said something bad that I openly admit now I apologize for. It was wrong. I shouldn't have said that, and it's certainly not the case. I don't think my viewers are lazy. That's bullshit. And that was just the frustration of it just coming out of me and me saying it wrong. I don't think my viewers are lazy. I just think there's something fucking going on. I got to figure out what it is, right? What is that core thing that doesn't keep someone engaged for a live stream? I don't know what it is right now. I don't get it, you know? And so, you know, he said, you know, this is the kind of thing that happens that makes you look bad. And, you know, I appreciate that feedback, but what I wish Rich wouldn't do would be saying that publicly on Twitter, because then what happens is, oh, wow, Phil said that? Phil's a piece of shit. They don't see in context. Again, Rich sees it, and Rich kind of knows my history, and Rich kind of knows there's a bunch of kids who fucking make it their life's work to just make my life miserable. He gets that, because he gets a lot of that too on YouTube. He gets a lot of that kind of hate. In fact, a lot of the same people who hate on me hate on him on a daily fucking basis. So it's kind of weird that we have nothing to do with each other. We barely ever talk. We have like no relation. Even our content is vastly different, yet we still get the same kind of hate. So obviously there you're kind of seeing a pattern, right? It doesn't really have to do with the content or whatever someone's coming out. It just seems that there's certain people that gravitate towards other people on YouTube and attack the fuck out of them. I'm just saying. But anyway, Rich sees this and he tweets it, and he's well-intentioned, and I appreciate that he tweeted it, because I look at it and I'm like, wow, Rich is right. Looking at just that moment of what I said, completely out of context, makes me look like a piece of shit, and he's absolutely fucking right. And I shouldn't say stuff like that publicly, and that's a shortcoming of mine, because I'm so real, because I talk about this stuff with you, and I share this personal experience with you on YouTube all the time. Stuff like that, that's a mistake, comes out, and that's what becomes the focus of the negative assholes on YouTube, right? But at the same time, I don't think Rich realizes that when he makes tweets like that, especially when it's 5 in the fucking morning for me and I'm asleep and I can't respond to it, that all it does is cause problems for me. Because when he tweeted that, immediately all his viewership went and watched the fucking video. So all that happened is that hundreds, if not thousands, of people who follow his Twitter went and watched the video and said, wow, DSP's a piece of shit, instead of understanding the whole situation, the whole context of everything. So I really wish, and I actually just said this on Twitter, I really wish that if other YouTubers want to have some kind of a discourse with me about what's going on or whatever, PM me or email me, you know, darksidefil@hotmail.com. It's easy to reach me. And Twitter is not always the best avenue to do that, especially when you know that there's going to be a public eye on stuff like that. And the bottom line is, yeah, maybe a couple hundred to a couple thousand people may have seen that video of that idiot who records everything that I do, the out of context, you know, video. Okay, but now because Rich tweeted it, now a lot more people are going to see it, and that's actually negative to me. It actually hurts me, even though it makes me understand, oh wow, I see what's going on. It ends up hurting me even further. I don't think he gets that, okay? So now to end this video, allow me to explain many things, because I want to clarify for everyone definitively the truth of the matter. Because the bottom line is, what you hear from everyone else on the fucking internet, and what you hear from this video over here, and this tweet over here, and these shitheads over here, is not the truth. What you hear from me is the bottom line when it comes to myself and my stuff, alright? Number one, I am not quitting Pokemon Moon. There is this big mass just misunderstanding. I must have gotten like 20 to 30 messages in the past day. Are you quitting Pokemon Moon? I'm like, no. Where did anyone get that idea from? Never once ever in this entire discussion did I say that I was going to stop playing this game that I love. And then I give it, well, Phil, since you're quitting Pokemon Moon, you're a piece of shit. You're only doing this for money, obviously. I'm like, what? What? I'm not quitting Pokemon Moon. I love the game. I haven't even looked at viewership on YouTube to see if the videos are getting any views. I don't care. Pokemon Moon is the kind of game that I know I can play at length. It doesn't have to be a rushed game. It could be a game that I play at length and I balance with other games. So even with other company games like Final Fantasy 15 and other stuff, I can play Pokemon Moon potentially on and off till the end of the year as a fun playthrough, right? And I don't feel any pressure. Right? I don't. I feel like the least pressure of all the games I'm playing, I feel like that's like the least pressure kind of game where I could just play it at my own pace and have fun with it. It just so happens right now, it released on Friday, I'm having a ton of fun with it, so I'm playing it heavily now, but I'm not pressured to have to rush and finish the game or anything like that. And I don't understand where this mentality is coming from, that people think I'm quitting the game. I never said that. I may stop live streaming it, but I'm not quitting it. That's when I'm really enjoying a game, I'm not going to just quit it out of nowhere. You know what I mean? I'll find a way. If I'm really enjoying a game, I'll balance it. And now I'll make a comparison here. Compared to a game that I'm doing and I'm really not enjoying it, I'm not going to continue it. And there's a lot of people who, well, Phil didn't finish this playthrough and Phil quit this playthrough. He rage quit this playthrough. If I'm not enjoying it, why the fuck would I keep playing it? That's my mentality. The whole reason I'm doing videos for YouTube is to play games, to show you what the games look like from a common gamer's perspective, to express my opinion on that game live. And if it's a game that's great, I'll keep playing it. And if it's a game that's okay, I'll probably still keep playing it. If it's a game that I feel is absolutely god fucking awful, like Homefront this year, are you fucking kidding me? Why the fuck would I have continued to play that piece of shit? No Man's Sky? I gave that game more than enough of my fucking time, and it's a fucking stinking piece of crap. You know what I mean? I will stop playing them. So, yeah, I love Pokemon Moon. There's no reason why I would stop. I mean, yeah, it might be balanced. It might be a drawn-out playthrough. I'm not going to quit playing Pokemon Moon. All right, that's number one. Number two, please, I have to implore you. When you see or hear something that I say that seems out of context, that seems weird for me, Phil normally wouldn't just insult the viewers out of blue and say that they're lazy. I mean, Phil live streams 365 days a year. Phil puts out gameplay videos 365 days a year. Out of the 365 days, were there 2 days this year where maybe he said something that didn't seem right? You know what I mean? But that's the focus that everyone's got to fucking talk about because they got to get their cheap views. They got to get their cheap attention because they're scumbags. Those people have nothing to add positively to the planet. They don't. Because when you focus only on negativity, that means you have nothing positive or constructive to say. And that's the reason why they exist, because they can get attention for themselves by feeding off of the moment of weakness of someone else. So I had this one moment of weakness, right? Please, when you see stuff like that, don't take it as the end-all fucking be-all of who I am, all right? And I know now I'm really only talking to my core fan base, and it's far too late for a video like this to have any kind of impact on the commonality of the YouTube viewer. The common YouTube viewer thinks I'm a piece of shit. Because there's so many videos out there of those moments of weakness that are out of context. You don't understand the situation and where I'm coming from and why I would have been so frustrated or just so overwhelmed at the time that I would say something stupid, right? That stupid thing becomes me. It becomes synonymous with me as the person on YouTube, and people look and say, wow, when I search for DSP Gaming, Phil said this nasty about his viewers today. He said this nasty about something 6 months ago. Oh my God, last year in 2015, Phil said this and this and this. Wow, did you know that in 2010, Phil was on Blip TV, and he made a joke about the Jews and Nazis? Oh my God, once ever, Phil made a horrendous joke, learned his lesson, never made that kind of joke ever again, and repeatedly apologized for it and explained that that joke was actually copied off of the Howard Stern show, which is a completely different animal than what people thought it was. But man, we still got to bring that shit up, right? And that's the thing, people just find these moments of things. I'm not even kidding. That moment in 2010, people still bring up to this day. And it's like, are you kidding me? 6 fucking years ago? You still bring it up? One thing that happened? And it's just out of control. So this video is obviously not for the common YouTube viewer. I really don't feel that a vlog like this, nothing that I do at this point, would ever make people change their common opinion about me, because there's so much of that take the one moment of weakness, and that's become who I am on YouTube, because I show those moments of weakness. How many other YouTubers have these pre-streams, have these behind-the-scenes videos, have vlogs like this? A lot of YouTubers, it's just the content. Here's the content, this is all you see of me, right? And that's it, and I'm not like that. You know, I've always had this interactive relationship, like I said at the very beginning of this video, this interactive, organic relationship with my viewing audience, and it is a double-edged sword, because in a lot of ways, it's great to have that transparency and to feel like I have this personal connection with the people who have made me popular on YouTube and allowed me to do this as a job. But at the same time, when I have a moment of weakness, it stabs me right in the fucking foot or the ass or the balls or whatever the fuck you want to say, right? And it really does frustrate me. So please, when you hear that shit, you gotta understand, the one moment, when you think of that one moment when I did something fucked up, please compare it to the other ridiculous amount of moments where I didn't fuck up and the amount of enjoyment that you got out of my stuff. Because I think, unfortunately, what happens on YouTube is you get this kind of black and white judgment system, right? It's either the person's amazingly good or a piece of shit. It's one or the other. There's no gray area. Now, in reality, we're all a gray area. We're all human. We all have positives and negatives. We don't all show them publicly on YouTube, but in reality, we're all like this. We all have moments of greatness and moments of weakness. And for me, because the moments of weakness have been the focus on YouTube for so many people, that's why I'm seeing as such a negative thing on YouTube when so many others don't show that side of anything, you know? And when I come out here and I make a video and I say, man, I feel my videos are the best Let's Plays on YouTube because they're raw and unedited, and I'm not doing a paid advertisement like these other shills, and I'm not doing the cheap thing over here like a reaction video to a movie or a trailer for cheap views because I'm busy working on games. Yes, I do feel pride in my own work. Yes, I do feel that what I'm doing is good, but I'm not saying that other stuff can't also be good. But when I say stuff like that, people take it that way because it kind of sounds like that, even though that's not what I mean. I don't always express myself the right way, and people take that shit and say, oh, you're so elitist and you're so fucking up in your high castle of, you know, your ego, and you don't understand that you're not the best thing on YouTube. No fucking shit. Like, of course I know I'm not the best thing on YouTube, right? Now, I don't think that the things that are popular on YouTube are necessarily the best things on YouTube either. I actually think that there's a lot of high-quality stuff on YouTube that no one sees because of the way YouTube works. And I've said that for years, that YouTube's system now is broken to the point where people can just follow a formula. And because they follow a formula, they get popularity on YouTube and make money, which is ridiculous because YouTube is not supposed to be a website where you follow a formula of production values, of having big bucks, and you know, putting a ton of time and effort into a fucking highly produced video to put out on YouTube like it's a highly made television program, and then you put it out and now it gets a million views. That's not what YouTube is about. That's never what it's been about. But ever since Google bought it out, they completely fucked the business and changed it into something it's not. And it's terrible to see what they've done with this business because it is a shame that you cannot do what I became popular for on YouTube. It can never become popular again. People all the time say to me, Phil, how do I become a Let's Player like you and get popular? And my answer is you can't. You can't. You can't do that on YouTube anymore. That's not what YouTube is. YouTube changed their entire business multiple times to the point where if you just do something like that, a grassroots effort, it'll never become popular. They have completely destroyed that. And I understand that. I'm not stupid, but I'm lucky enough that I started early enough that I still have a viewer base for what I do, and I need to find a way to maintain that and somehow find a little bit of growth. And that's the problem is every time I get a little bit of growth, it leaves. Earlier this year, I had a ton of growth. All my channels were doing better, and then all of a sudden this summer, and I have no explanation why, and no one can tell me why. Not one person has stepped up and said, definitively, here's what happened, Phil. You said this, and it turned everyone off. No one said that. And it wasn't like, you know, it's just, how could it be popular one day and unpopular the next? I don't get it. You know, KO Gaming was doing ridiculously well. Ridiculously well. And then all of a sudden, the videos just don't get attention anymore. I'm like, what happened? I didn't change. I'm putting out the same kind of quality content. I'm covering the new games. This is what people said they wanted to see for the rest of the year. Where did the attention go? Why do I have 24,000 subs on KO Gaming and I'm only getting like 5,000 to 7,000 views a video? I don't know. What happened? How do you get that much? I don't get it. If anyone can figure that shit out, that's what I need to fucking know, all right? I don't need to hear the one moment of weakness where I insulted my, you know, I insulted people because I was fucking so frustrated about stuff, and obviously I'm an idiot for saying that, and I apologize for it. That doesn't help. And I think that's these idiots who they think that well, we're just exposing Phil, and we're making him see who he really is so that he'll improve. That doesn't make me improve, you idiot! Putting a one out of context video on the internet doesn't fucking help me improve. Are you that stupid? Yeah, you all must be. Because that only kills me. All you're going to do is make me completely be destroyed and never be able to make a video again that anyone would ever want to watch. Because every time they search for DSP or DSP Gaming, they see, Phil insulted his viewer base, says they're lazy. Phil made a Nazi joke. Phil did this, Phil did that. And they see these, 30, 40 occurrences over an 8-year span that make me look nasty. And of course, this is how you don't play videos. Rather than, the 40,000 fucking great gameplay videos that I've put up on the internet. The hundreds of reviews that I've put up on the internet. So anyway, to conclude, thanks for listening. Had to get this off my chest. I apologize for being stupid and being human and saying dumb things every once in a while. Understand that's not the end-all be-all of who I am, okay? I would hope that at least there's enough intelligent people when you see something like that, you say, now wait a minute. Phil's been around for 8 years. I'm pretty sure that he doesn't just fucking say stuff like that all the time. And, I want to get to the bottom of this. And someone like Rich from Review Tech USA, right? He sees it and he's like, now wait a minute. Now, Phil wouldn't just say this all the time, and this is bad, and then he tweets about it, and that's good, but it's also bad, You got something to say? Anyone, and I mean this, send me an email, darksidephil@hotmail.com. You can PM me on Twitter, which I think you can send PMs. I don't even know. There's multiple ways you can reach me without making shit public like that, you know what I mean? Because all it's going to do is just incense more people, right? Because now, even though Rich is well-intentioned, I am very appreciative because he basically calls me out on me doing something really stupid, okay, but then I look at, well, great, because now there's going to be 1,000 people who see that and hate me even more. That's just what I needed today when I wake up, right? Getting ready for my live, I wake up in the morning, get ready for my live stream, I look on Twitter, what the fuck? God damn it. Another day where I just want to fucking play games and have fun, and I got to deal with more of this fucking stupid drama. And it is what it is. It's life. That's the life of a YouTuber. At least that's been my life. I know a lot of YouTubers don't put up with this kind of shit. They don't have to. I do. That's been my life since I started on YouTube, and I guess it's going to be till the day that I fucking stop. It is what it is. But anyway, I wanted to make this video. I'm not quitting Pokemon Moon. I don't think that my viewers are lazy. I'm just trying to get to the bottom of what's going on. Yes, shortly, I'm probably not going to be live streaming as much anymore. In fact, today's probably the last stream of Pokemon Moon, and it is what it is. That's reality. Okay, and I apologize for being human and for showing that weakness, as often as I do. I try not to do it all the time, but yeah, it comes out, and I fuck up, and I hope that there are at least enough people who understand how life works to know that, wow, Phil made a mistake. Well, he'll come back from that mistake, and he'll provide us now with months and months of entertaining content before hopefully he makes another stupid mistake. That's just life. I don't really have much else to say besides I'm sorry, that I say stupid shit like that. And I'm glad that there are people who call me out on it fairly versus people who just make it seem like that's all I am on YouTube. Okay. That's it, everyone. Thank you for listening. Right now, I probably have to call my parents. Shit. I just realized I have about half an hour to call my parents before my stream starts. And then I'm back to work. So, that's it. Thanks.